Hello, hello. Welcome back to the weekly Monday Motivation Podcast, No More Excuses. I am Sandy Ballard, your host, and I am the Badass Business Coach. Feel free to check out my website, badassbusiness.coach. And I help people realize their badassness so they can do more, be more, and achieve more, especially right now when there's so much uncertainty and chaos and craziness and things are changing all the time. And I know for some of you, it really hasn't changed, or maybe it's gotten busier. Who knows? But I help you all get to that next level and take that step. All right, this week, thanks and a shout out to listener Lorna in Ireland. Love it. She said she's been listening for about a year, and she has founded the company Strides for Success and Daily Strides podcast. And I just, it was really cool to hear from her, and obviously since she's not in America, it's always cool to hear outside of the U.S. who's listening, especially for that long. So thank you, Lorna, and check her out. Check out her website, stridesforsuccess.com. Her goal is to help people who ride horses have a clear intention about each and every encounter they have with their horse. And she does this all virtually, which is what a lot of us are having to do now. So, she's just another shining example of a business that can help people around the world virtually. So, again, thanks, Lorna, for reaching out. Super cool to hear from you. I know we have some communication going back and forth, so I look forward to hearing back from you. And again, if you ride a horse or interested in doing that, check her out, stridesforsuccess.com. All right, it's last week, and no, I'm not getting paid to say that. Last week, I was asked to speak for an association, and this is a national association, but then, like many, they have local and regional groups. And it's really cool to hear from them because I've spoken for the national and the regional versions of this organization many times. It was where I actually launched my speaking quote unquote career, I guess, in 2015. But it was really cool. It's been a while since I've been on stage in person. And it's crazy how they're suffering because they haven't been able to charge for membership dues or have conferences. They're not the only one, right? It's just been a little nutty. But I was really excited to hear from them and to speak. It won't be until November. But, I've said but like 3 times. It'll be November, but I'm excited still, and I look forward to working with them and even their leadership conference next year in 2020. Gosh, I hope we're back in person, or 2021. Hope we're back in person by then. And I picture the first big in-person conference that any of us go to. If you're a conference kind of person, it'll be like, the first, when the doors open on Black Friday, how it's just you're running for that sale, that toy or that TV. It's going to be interesting. Yes. So, excitement, some anxiety, and a lot of crazy, right? But like the woman at the restaurant said last week, I asked her about her hours and, are they going to get back to whatever normal is, the new normal, the business is unusual. And she said, it's 2020, man. I don't know. And I just laughed. I thought that was funny because you know what? We don't know, do we? And even I had my quarterly women's lunch taboo that I started years ago. This would have been the 4th year. And so far we've missed 2. And we've been talking and working on, when to have it, working on, okay, let's do this virtually. But then you hear so many people saying, I'm tired of virtual things, or, how does it work? And, just is it going to be something that's really can people can sink their teeth into and really want to do. So we're looking at September because by then, again, we were working on them and the COVID happened, and then it was June and people are still, some kids are still in school and you're learning at home. And then we were going to have it in August, but then kids will be potentially going back to school. So September, it'll probably be just the one this year, but you know what? We're just all trying to figure it out, aren't we? And with this, doing it virtually or a combo effort is what we're looking for, an in-person location and virtually, we can take it international. So how cool is that, right? We've been talking about how to make it more open than just because it's been in Indiana for so long. And, we'll see. So, much like listener Lorna and her training and the association and my coaching, I have clients all over the world. One of my 2019 goals was to increase my exposure outside of Indiana. And here I am in California, and I just got asked to speak in St. Louis. And another Lorna, another international podcast listener, and she's podcasters herself. So it's just cool to see. Oh, and I forgot Frisia in the UK. She's the furthest away for my online courses that I launched not too long ago. Again, with this COVID thing, it's like more and more people are getting more international, and it's really cool. And as much as this pandemic has sucked ass, it's helped many of us take that step out of their comfort zone. And like in last week's podcast, my challenge to you was to do just that. Take a step. So did you? If so, what did you do? Comment in this and here, wherever you're listening to this or see this. Feel free to email me, sballard@growingforward.biz. What I did was take a huge step toward creating a membership-based model for many of my things. I've got my online courses that I just let sit in a folder for years. And this membership model has sat for years in this. And it's like, you know what? Things are just coming together now. Having the tools, I have the courses launched, and all these things are coming together. So now that I've told you about it, right, it's going to have to happen, because that is my 30-day goal, my 30-day challenge to myself, is to get this ready to share with you and have it ready to launch. But what about you? What did you do? A tiny little step or a big step to challenge yourself, to help you step out of your comfort zone? Kickstart July, which is the second half of 2020, because we all know what we'd like to do to the first half of 2020, right? Or at least the second quarter. And now it's the third week of July. So you've got to continue to take those steps to continue to work towards your 30-day challenge. All right, and this is a bigger push than just a goal, unless you really challenge yourself on your goal, all right? And many of you are still, maybe slower with business, or not even back, or maybe you're back full time. We cannot hesitate. Like I talked about in last week's podcast, we cannot hesitate because we'll miss opportunities. But sometimes shit happens when we take that step. And that's why I encourage you to take a step, no matter how uncertain it is, right? You got to take that step, and sometimes shit happens. All right, so this week, I want to hear what's one mistake, personally and professionally, that you've made. Maybe it was this month because of you taking a step, saying, screw it, I'm just going to take a step. Maybe it was within the last couple months, something recent. What's one personal and one professional mistake you've made, and what did you learn from it? And I will say, I just sent out I have a meetup group, and it's all Orange County people here in California. And I was talking to my daughter on the phone and typing this up, and I put the wrong link in it, and I forgot to put a special code in there for them. So what did I learn? That multitasking is not a superpower, like I preach to everyone. So be intentional. I've talked about this in the podcast a couple weeks ago, being 100% present, intentional, and deliberate with your actions so you can stay focused. And I was not. So there you go. That was a mistake. So I had to resend that out, and annoy people because I sent out 2 messages. Hopefully I didn't annoy them. But if the mistakes you've made are creating this hesitation because you pulled back because you're afraid to make any more mistakes, email me. Again, sballard@growingforward.biz. I'll help you realize you're not alone. Like me, I make mistakes a lot. You're not alone, and I'll help you take that step and move past that hesitation. All right? Have a great week. I look forward to hearing from you. Cheers.